Hi, and welcome to the Christian Homeschool Moms Podcast. I'm Demetria, your host, and this is episode number 125. So, everybody, I'm so excited because on this episode, we're doing things just a little bit differently. If you're listening on iTunes or Spotify or on my website, then I want to also invite you to come on over to my YouTube channel. It's called Mom Zest. It's under my name, Demetria Zinga, and Mom Zest. So I also have this podcast visible on YouTube, so you can both watch it or listen to it on the go. I wanted to try this out and see how it went for this episode. This is the first time I'm trying this after 125 episodes, so I'm really excited about it. And on today's episode, I have a wonderful guest. I cannot wait to introduce her to you. Many of you already know about her. She's one of my friends. I have known her for quite some time, and I've learned so many new things about her on this particular episode. So this interview is going to be a lot of fun because we're going to find out more about my guest, and she's going to be giving us some advice and encouragement for both new homeschool moms and those who have been in the trenches for some time. So if you're a veteran homeschool parent, then you can rest assured that by listening into this episode, you also will be encouraged. So that's my goal here at this podcast. The last couple of episodes, I came with some information about why I have been missing in action for some time. And you can listen to that on episode 123. And I at 124 also, I have more information for you, just keeping you encouraged and motivated when homeschooling is tough. But now I want to continue with this encouragement series on homeschooling. If you are new to this podcast, welcome, and you can subscribe on iTunes and on Spotify. So be sure to check those out. Additionally, if you would like to listen just from my website, if you don't have iTunes and you just want to listen at my website, you can go visit christianhomeschoolmoms.com/podcast-2. And it is there. Everything is listed there. All the archives that I'm bringing back. So far, there are about 20 or 30 or so episodes there. There should be more in my archives that you will see popping up over the next couple of weeks and populating as I get them back on board for you guys. So be checking that out. The show notes are there, as well as the player, so you can go listen in on the player page as well. There's a lot of ways to listen to this podcast, is what I'm trying to tell you. And so I'm not going to hold you any longer. This is kind of a lengthy episode, so I want to go ahead and hop into the interview. I'll be back at the end for more information about how you can reach my guest and reach me for further homeschooling support. And I really hope you enjoy this podcast. So here we go, straight into the interview. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Christian Homeschool Moms Podcast. I'm Demetria Zinga, your host, and today we have with us Tracy Kelly. She's a homeschool mom, and I can't wait for her to share with you all the things that she's been experiencing in her homeschool. And I've known Tracy for a few years now, and love Tracy, love her. So you guys are going to love her. And Tracy, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Demetria. It's so wonderful to be here. And I feel so honored that you asked me here because you are one of my homeschool heroes that paved the way for so many of us. So I am honored to be here.
Oh, I appreciate that, Tracy. Well, I want you to share about your homeschooling. Now, you've been homeschooling for a while, so I want you to tell us about yourself, how long you've been homeschooling, and your family.
All right. Well, I'm Tracy Kelly, and I am a wife of a wonderful husband, Dwayne. We actually have two separate businesses, family businesses, a handyman business, and he also owns a recording studio. So outside of doing that, we're working on that. I also am a 15, well, no, I'm sorry, it's about 13-year homeschooling mom to three amazing kids. My oldest is 15, DJ. I have a daughter who is 13, and my youngest little baby, not so much of a baby anymore, but he is 9.
Oh my. Wow. 15, 13, and 9.
Yes, isn't that amazing? And I feel like I watch your kids grow up just watching you guys. So it's amazing to see our kids just growing
Growing
up right
up.
before our eyes.
I know, right before our eyes. And it's just like, where did the time go? But that's amazing. You have a high schooler then.
Yes.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's amazing thing. This was a new adventure for us because my oldest actually wanted to try public school this year.
Uh-huh.
So this was, I have, it was an adventure. So I have some things to say about that. So he is
Okay.
my oldest. The other two I'm still homeschooling them.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome. I can't wait to hear more. So what made you decide then to homeschool?
Well, when my oldest he was 3 years old, and it was time for me to start narrowing down choices for pre-K. I started going visiting some pre-K classes, and something inside of me just did not. It's something in my spirit didn't sit well with all of the places that I was going. I was visiting, and I went as far as signing him up and registering him for one of them, and I just didn't feel right about it. So the moment I just was praying about it, and I just kept seeing homeschooling everywhere. I had never heard of homeschooling, never knew it was even legal to do it. And everywhere that I turned, it was homeschool this and homeschool that. And I ran across some blogs, some things online. And this was probably in 2009, 2010.
Mhm.
And I looked into it. I did some research. I went to my husband and I said, you know what? I think I could do this. And if you're on board, I'm going to try it out. If it doesn't work, we can always go back to school. But we tried it, and here I am now, 13 years later.
That
And it's been the best decision of my life. It's really, I always say, I think I was led there because it was just so strong in me, to do this. So I have no regrets.
That's awesome. I do hear a lot of people say that when they chose to homeschool, it was something they felt that they were led into and they hadn't heard of it before, like you said. And I felt the same way. I hadn't heard of it, but I started to research as people were talking about it. And I did feel led into the homeschooling at the time that you and I started homeschooling, because I was right around the same time you did. I think 2007 or 8 for me. So 2009 for you. That's a long time ago. And in that time there weren't a lot of homeschoolers. I mean, it was growing, but the amount of homeschoolers there are now compared to then, so different.
It's
So
so different.
yeah, I mean, it's like we kind of had to pave the way, really. Like we tried to figure out what was available and how to make this work as far as curriculum. And so we're going to get into that in a moment because that is a topic on its own. But so let's talk about how you homeschooled. So your style, what did you decide you would do with your children in terms of your method? Did you choose a method or philosophy, or did you get curriculum and just go for it? Or like how did you figure out the way you wanted to teach your children?
Okay, well, the funny part is I've always been in this field. I've always worked with children. I was a preschool teacher before I stayed at home with my kids. So I always had, some concerns about the way things were taught, the way things, and I had my own opinions about things. So what I decided to do was to take those concerns and the things that I felt like I wanted to change, and I decided to just school outside of the box. What everyone said was normal, I decided to do the opposite. So
Oh,
I
I love
became
that.
more of an eclectic, relaxed homeschooler. I wanted to homeschool wherever we were. If we wanted to do it in the living room, if we wanted to do it, on the go. I wanted to just be relaxed with it. I wanted to follow my children's lead, whatever they were interested in, the things that they would want to study. We would just take that time and study about it. And that's the way I normally, and I continue to do that. I would let them lead, and I would do a little planning, but I wanted to let them lead. So I always say I'm an eclectic, relaxed homeschooler because I take bits and pieces of this method and bits and pieces of that. I'm a
Mhm.
big fan of Charlotte Mason's method, but I won't say I'm a Charlotte Mason, homeschooler, but I love some of the aspects of that, that method. So I take bits and pieces here, but we've always done things outside the box and in a very relaxed way.
Awesome. I remember doing that too. That's the best way though. I really think that that's awesome because you can take a little bit of classical, a little bit of Charlotte Mason, a little bit of Montessori, a little bit of whatever, and
Yes.
then make it your own. Or maybe you have a passion for how you want to raise your children, and you know specifically what you're trying to accomplish with your kids, and that's what drives your day. And then I love that you're very relaxed, and that just makes it so much more fun when
Yeah, it
when you don't
does.
have a structure of this is what you need to get done and when, and this is, what we need to accomplish by, the end of
Mhm.
the school year. When you're actually enjoying learning with your kids, especially when they're really young, there's so much freedom in homeschooling. And so I
Really is. And you know what I figured out is some of the subjects that I had problems with in school, I feel like I learned them with them along the way and they became easier for me. So I was able to pick up, wow, okay, I didn't see that when I was in school. And because I'm teaching it to them, I was able to pick it up and learn to teach it in a different way. So it is exciting either way. I've picked up things and learned right along with them. So it's just an amazing experience.
really is. It really is. I love that you said that you're learning along with them. I feel the same. And I feel like as we homeschool, we learn so much along the way because we don't start off knowing everything. Like nobody knows it all. So when you start, the first day you start homeschooling, it might feel really overwhelming for people listening. They might, if it's your first year homeschooling, you might feel really overwhelmed. But as you begin to relax into things, it becomes easier and easier as you start to see that it's really not about you knowing everything and having all the answers. You're learning with your children, and it's an adventure. So that's the beauty of homeschooling. And I want to know about your day in the life though. Like what is your
Wow.
day?
Wow. Okay. So it
Take us
is
behind the scenes.
it's very interesting because and I hope I'm not going over, some of your other questions, but during the after the I'll say during the pandemic, of course everyone became homeschoolers. So I started getting so many messages because of course of social media, everyone knew that I was homeschooling. So I started getting questions. And so I had a parent come to me and say, I would love to homeschool, but right now I cannot. So would you mind being a private tutor?
Hmm.
So that opened up something I never thought of. So now I am actually a private tutor in Georgia, you cannot legally homeschool someone else's children, but you can be a tutor or to help the parents. So that's what I have been doing. So in addition to homeschooling my children, I have two additional students. So my day, I usually get up at 6, and they usually come about 7, and they don't leave till 6. So I'm able to do an enrichment program. I get up, I of course do breakfast. We do school, which people are sometimes surprised. We usually start school about 8. We're done by noon. That's usually all it takes, and that's with all of them, including I have my daughter's in the 7th grade this year. So
Wow.
with all of that, we're starting at 8, we're done by 12. We do lunch, we play outside, we, have enrichment if it's something they need help with, more writing practice, reading practice, and that's it. Our day is done. And usually for the rest of the day, it's just their day to do the things that they want to do. If we want to
Wow.
do labs, enrichments, if we want to do some elective things, art things, we're able to do those in the evening. So those are what those things are something. And then, now I'm also consulting. A lot of people are coming to me. It's amazing. It's so many homeschoolers coming out, and it's
Yes.
just becoming so popular. I never thought I would see this, but
The
that's
day
usually
has
in my
arrived.
day, right? My day, I'm handling so many inbox messages and things for people just needing help.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's scary. It's
Yep.
scary when you're starting. So I'm able to do that. And it makes me feel so good to be able to help people because we've all felt it. So we know what it feels like to take on that responsibility and to be so afraid and not know where to turn,
Mhm.
where to look. So I'm so thankful that I'm able now to step up and do what you and so many others have done for us. And that's just to pave the way to help, those point them in the right direction. And it's amazing.
Yeah, you're passing the baton. You're just, yeah,
Yes,
we're all
exactly.
that's what it's all about. And helping one another. I love that you're helping other families by tutoring their children privately. You said private tutoring.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful position to be in, because you're not only helping your children, but other people's children also. And I'm imagining that changed your routine though. Before the pandemic, were you only homeschooling your kids, or did you also have other students?
No, it was only my kids. I never thought about adding any more kids in. So it did change things a lot.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, how much has your routine changed since the pandemic? But with having additional students, I'm sure it's changed a lot with your routines. But I love that you only have school from eight to noon, and then
Hmm.
you said enrichment the rest of the day, and going
Yes,
outside for exercise and play and relaxing. That's beautiful. I mean, I think that's one thing to really bring to the surface, is that homeschooling doesn't have to take all day long, and it doesn't have to look like school. It shouldn't look anything like a typical school situation, because we don't have all of those extra, the bell ringing and lining up for lunch, and going out, for a specific amount of time for recess, and then PE, and all of this classroom management that takes up so much time in a regular school. I feel that it cuts down a lot on the time that we need to spend, because we're really focused, and you're focusing on teaching the academics, and then after that there's all that free time that your kids get to explore and enjoy each other and have a good time. So I really like that flexibility in homeschooling.
I do
um,
too.
I was going to ask you, okay, so I'm going to ask you now some of your least favorite things about homeschooling. So we're going to flip it a little bit and go to least favorite, but we're going to come back to some positives in a moment.
Okay, now that's a tough one because I love, but one thing that I've experienced is the negative comments and some of the mindsets about homeschooling are the things that to me make it a negative thing, because it can take you to a place where you're having to defend if you allow yourself to defend your decision. And those are the things that I really hate, that people sometimes are closed minded about having other options, besides, and I don't, it's not, and not anything wrong with public school or charter schools, private schools, but we do have options, and I'm thankful for those options. And sometimes it can kind of get to you sometimes, just having to defend, this is my family. I've made this decision, but people want to come with, oh, well, what are they going to, what about them socializing? And what about this? And you have to constantly have to defend why you're doing it and the positives and the benefits of you doing it. Those are the things that I feel like makes homeschooling, a negative experience. But
Yeah.
I have learned over the years, I have toughened up and I have learned to understand that it's really no one else's business. Whatever you decide for your family, what works best for your family, works best for your family.
Hmm.
And it doesn't matter what, and just like I don't have anything against public schools or any other options that other people, we all have the freedom to do the things for our family that works best.
Yes.
So I've learned that over the years not to let it get to me, but it did in the beginning. It really did get to me. And that's one of the things I have to, talk to other families about that are starting this process or on this journey is don't let that get to you. Know what you're doing, why you're doing it, and continue to do it. Don't
Yes.
let the outside voices, the outside influences make you think you're doing something wrong. So those are the things that bothered me the most and made it negative for me.
Made it difficult. Yes, I agree with you. I had the same circumstances, even within my own family, within my, my relatives, as far as family. And so I had to always defend what I'm doing. And so after some time, I don't know, I think I just began to surround myself with people who understood homeschooling and I
Yes.
stayed in my little homeschool bubble because I wouldn't get a whole lot of questions unless my kids and I were out and then people would ask like, aren't they supposed to be in school?
Right. I still get that too.
Yeah.
But
But I
it's
had to
funny
do
because I think over the years though, your work will speak for itself.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just like now with my son being in public school, his teachers are emailing me. He's been straight A ever since he's been there.
Oh, that's
And that's been so positive, not only for other people to see, but for myself to be able to see that the work you put in,
all
even being relaxed, not touching Common Core, he's still in school Common Core like it was nothing. And he's thriving and doing very well. So that helped me also. That kind of gave me a little boost of confidence, and it also helped others to see, well, you weren't that crazy, you weren't doing anything wrong. He fit right in. So,
right.
those things help too.
That is, oh my goodness, that's one thing. I'm glad you said that because so many people, I've had people ask me that too, or tell me, that they've had a lot of folks question their intentions for homeschooling or even whether or not they're capable of doing it and just question their ability to homeschool their own kids. And so they would tell me, I'm feeling really hurt right now because I'm not, people don't believe in me. They don't believe in what I'm doing with my kids as my child. Right. And
Right.
so the thing is what you're saying is that your son's work and your work speaks for itself. And that's the encouragement that I want to bring that to the surface. What you're saying is that go ahead and do what you've been called to do with your kids, and then just keep at it, and then with time your work will speak for itself. It doesn't matter what everybody else is saying because they don't know what you've been led into. They don't know what you've been called to do with your children. So as you do what, if you went, you're obedient to what you feel you've been led to do, and for your choice that you've made, and just be consistent and stay with people who are going to encourage you,
Yes.
and then get that encouragement and have groups that maybe support groups, whether it's virtual or in person. I know sometimes it's hard to find in-person groups. I keep hearing that a lot, and
Right.
that's an issue. But if you can find virtual groups, even that's better than nothing, and get that support, then you can keep going as long as you need to, and as long as it's good for your family. And then at the end of the day, what you're saying is that your work will speak for itself. And if your kids go to school, then their teacher's going to see something different. And so
Yes.
that's amazing that we have that to look forward to. So we talked about your least favorite thing. What about benefits? Reasons you decided to keep homeschooling your younger children? Like why? Because you could have easily said, oh, we're done after third grade and we're going to put them in public school, private school, but you kept on. So what keeps you motivated? What keeps you going?
Oh, there's so many benefits. Well, the one of the benefits that I love the most is just being able to spend time with my family. I have never been the kind of parent that wanted my kids away from me. So being able to be at home with them and to watch them grow and learn new things is such an amazing experience. I love to be able to witness them grasping new things and things that maybe they had a difficult time with. I finally see them get it. I see the light bulb go off. Those are the things that make it so wonderful and magical for me. And I love that feeling of just seeing them, with reading and just even something as small as tying their shoes, just to see something go off and say, wow, they are learning. They're understanding the things that it's going to take to get them through life. That is just an amazing thing to be able to witness every single day.
Yeah.
That's the most, and another thing is just being able to give them a tailored, customized education where I can give them an individualized plan, attention, whatever their needs are, their weaknesses, their strengths. I'm able to give that to them every day. I'm able to care and choose, and if they need extra time, it's on me. If they need to, take a step back, we can do that. If they're ahead and we can move forward, we can do that. That is just wonderful to me. You can't always do that in school, but I can do it, at home.
there's so much power in that.
Yes,
That
it is. It really is.
and you're seeing all those magical, I guess I want to call it, but all those moments that you get with your
Moments.
kids that like it's I can't even begin to describe the moments that I captured in my head. Even if I didn't actually take a picture of it, it's in my heart and I
Yes.
take that with me forever. And I'm glad I got to have those moments. So that's one of the beauties of homeschooling, once again. What are some of your favorite learning materials then? Some things that you feel like, and this is, I'm going to give you two parts to this. So
Okay.
part of this question is what are some curricula or learning materials that you can't do without? And then we're going to get into some more specific types of curriculum after that.
Okay, so I've been with curriculum has been kind of you know how it is. It's kind of like a trial and error thing.
Yeah.
I've mostly stuck with finding online resources and basically creating my own.
Oh,
And that's been amazing to me. I've picked up some things here and there, websites, and the things that I would like for them to learn, I basically tailor it or customize it and just make it our plan.
I love it.
So, one thing that I have, or I guess a place that I've discovered is the Goodwill. A lot of people miss, miss out on the Goodwill. Goodwill is an amazing
Yes.
place and resource. I have found some amazing things and things that I was searching for, I found for half the price. So it is an amazing thing to be able to find these. And now they have the online thrift stores and also, christianbook.com is a wonderful.
It's a good
I
one.
ordered a lot of materials from christianbook.com. And I would have to say, lastly, that my favorite handwriting curricula is Handwriting Without Tears.
It's a good one. I like
I
that.
love it.
Yes.
I love it.
It is a beautiful handwriting program. It is definitely without tears. So easy and yes. So I love that. Okay. So you said that thrift stores, and I was just reminded of when during our first year of homeschooling, I remember we'd pile up in the car and go to our Goodwill. And I knew that I was going to find stuff. Every time I went, I found,
Yes.
and I was on a strict budget. Like this time in my life, very, very strict budget. So anything we got for our homeschool would have to be, on a budget, like on the cheap. And so I found so much. And mostly I found CDs, classical music at the time. I don't think I was, yeah, we didn't have Spotify, did we? So I had
Right.
I
Yeah.
still had a CD player, and I just remember stacking up on classical music, always finding books for the kids. At that time, they were age 8 and 3, I think, or 7 and 2. So I found all kinds of toddler books, and they always have good deals on materials that people just no longer need. So you get it for a nice price, and that's how
Yes.
that's how I built my homeschool library those first couple of years was through our Goodwill and also Salvation Army. I used a
Yes.
lot of that. So yeah, I'm glad you said that. Those are some great ways to get resources. And then you said that you pull together some things on your own, like for your own lesson plans, you create
Yes.
your own material. That's
Yes, now I've done some of the box curricula and but I love just finding the things that we need and making it ourselves. It is wonderful not to have to stick with a certain thing and to be able to just whatever we're looking for to be able to do. And it works out for those that are on a budget, like you said. It's amazing what you can do for free.
yes.
It
So
really is.
there is. It just takes a little time, a little guidance and creativity, but someone like you who is practicing that can help others to do that, right?
Yes. Yes.
And help them pave, the way to like what to select because there's a lot of resources out there. We just have to know how to bring it together to make it work for your family. So my other question about the second part of the curriculum is about our culture. And so you and I share similar culture. And so I'm thinking that it would be great if you had a a cultural resource that you wanted to share that really has meant a lot in your family or something that you just want to recommend that we try.
Well, it's funny that you said that I've I didn't realize how much I didn't know and learn as far as our culture and education is concerned. So Instagram has been amazing because I'm able to follow some other mothers who that's what they're teaching. They're teaching they're giving us resources and books. And I don't know if it's okay if I mention it, but Erica at Melanated and Educated, she posts all of these wonderful books. And I'm able to go back and say, wow, I never heard of that before. So I'm able to pull up so much about our culture and share it with, my kids. And it's amazing. It's an amazing resource to be able to to follow these different women and their families and to be able to get resources that we need. Because I didn't realize I needed educating in a lot of areas as far as that's concerned. And I have a few, I had to bring a few that I actually found at the Goodwill that I was amazed by. Just things. Well, this one I think came from the dollar store, was about the civil rights.
Okay.
And I also had this one from the Goodwill about, yes, I love this one. All of these things I found at the Goodwill. Langston Hughes, and it has the beautiful art in there. And this is a pass it on poetry book and all of these were Goodwill finds. But it's just amazing, just the things that you can come across. And I haven't tried a particular curriculum but just the resources I picked up and the things that I've been able to read myself. Yes, they have been amazing.
Thank you for that. And for mentioning Erica, because
yes.
She has tons of material.
Yes, she does.
So much, like you have to go back and look at all of her posts and her reels and everything, but there's so much. And I love that she's exposing it and exploring all of this with her children and helping us to see that too. So I like Urban Intellectuals, which is a company that specializes in educating people about African-American history and Blacks in America. And so there are cards and you can teach your kids. I mean, they're just like little cards and they have facts on the back and then a picture on the front. And I love those. So there's so much we can do, right?
It is so wonderful that we have all of this at our fingertips now, the things that we never had before and the things that we never knew about that we're able to share, to pick up and share with others, which is amazing.
Yes, I love that. Well, I have a few more questions for you because I want encouragement for our moms listening today, because we have veteran moms and we have new homeschool moms. So let's see what we can say to encourage the new homeschool mom. And then also, do you have any words of encouragement for those who are they've been at this for a while and they just need encouragement to stay the course? So give me some encouragement for both.
Okay, for our new mom, I would say that I know that it seems overwhelming and it can seem very scary at the beginning, but if you really feel that you've been led to do this and this is a calling for you, I would say that you can do it. Being able to be with your children and to be able to give them this type of education is the most wonderful thing you could do. And never let anyone make you feel that you're doing anything beneath your potential, because that's another one that, I think people look at what you're doing and say, oh, you could be doing so much out there. Don't ever let anyone make you believe or feel that you are operating beneath your potential. If God called you to do this, this is your calling. It's not small. It's not a small thing. Right. And I want to emphasize that this is not a small thing. Mm-hmm. And it is not only for you and your family, you are training them to go out into the world to do great things. That's a big thing. Yes. It really is. So I want to just encourage you to keep going and know that what you're doing is important. And when you're overwhelmed, when it feels like you don't know what you're doing, reach out to other mothers. There's so many resources out there, social media, just websites, blogs, so many places that you can go just to get the things that you need. Reach out to people, just stay connected. to this community, to people that you know that are encouraging and supportive. Just stay connected.
Right. Oh, I love that. So if I'm a new homeschool mom listening to this right now, I'm encouraged. So,
Oh,
thank you.
okay.
Now I'm a veteran homeschool mom and I'm tired. So encourage me.
Been there, so it's easy to encourage you. I would also say to stay connected, stay with people that can support you, and to keep reminding yourself the reasons that you chose to do.
Mm,
Keep reminding yourself of the benefits of what lies ahead, of all of the big things that you get to witness and you get to experience. Just keep reminding yourself of how important it is of what you're doing and why you're doing it. And know that you're doing, I don't care if you have days where you don't do anything, days where, you're just so tired, you just watch a YouTube video or you teach by YouTube. It's okay. And they will be okay in the long run. And it took this experience to be okay and to allow, because I would have homeschooled my son until he graduated. But we tried to give him the freedom to say, I want to try this.
good.
But it was a help for me too, because it took this to show me that they will be okay.
Yes.
All the days that I felt like we didn't get everything done, the school years that we had to stop or we didn't get everything done, they're okay.
That's
He's
right.
still a straight A student. He's still thriving. And we didn't do it all. We
Mm,
didn't get to it all. And he's still doing okay. They will be okay.
yes,
So,
yes, yes. I love that. They will be okay.
yes, they will. You're doing a great job.
Wow, just that's a load that you just lifted off of so many moms because that question of am I doing enough is
Yes.
is like it's the enemy. It's the enemy of our soul.
Yeah.
Like you're not doing enough and they're not going to be okay. And you're not a who do you think you are doing all of this, right? So those questions that we entertain that cause us to feel like, well, maybe I'm not qualified, right? At some point, we start to question ourselves. We might start off a little bit like, oh, I've got this. This is kindergarten. But as we start to progress through
Yes.
fifth, sixth, seventh grade, then we start to question, like, do I really have this?
Yes.
The fact that you're saying, even if you don't finish the whole curriculum by the end of the year, if you don't get it all done every day, and there's life happens, right? And so
Yes, it does.
all of that, they're always okay. They end up just fine. And like for your son, he plugged right into the public school and he is doing just fine. Straight A student, didn't miss a beat. So I
The
love
only thing that he has a complaint about is he thinks it's too long because
it.
used, he's used to just getting the material and being ready to go. He's like, do they have to talk about the same thing over and over again? But
That,
but
that's
he's
good because he knows
yes,
like this can be like we can be more concise and I could get out of
yes.
three.
He knows that. It drives him crazy, but he's doing good. And another thing, I just feel like I don't know, it's something with I think every year as a veteran mom, we question ourselves. We have the confidence to do it. But I
Right.
think as they get closer to graduating or closer to high school, we become fearful that they're going to need this is more important now. And am I doing enough? Am I equipping them and getting them ready for college or the things that they want to do? And it becomes scary all over again.
Yes.
And I know because I've been there, and I say that every year I have to pull myself in and say, you know what, you've been doing this, you can do this. It's just a scary thing, but this is a big responsibility.
It really is.
And even though it's a calling and it's something that you love to do, it is a big responsibility. Anything that is on your shoulders that's that heavy, it's gonna be scary.
Right.
But we can do it.
That's
We have this. We can do it.
got it. And we need to keep hearing that we've got this. We need to hear people who are in the same boat that we're in, other moms who are homeschooling tell us we've got this. And it's so good to see people who've run the race and are currently in the process of homeschooling and be able to tell us, okay, don't worry about the fact that you didn't finish those last 5 chapters in the pre-algebra. Like, don't worry about the things that you think aren't working out.
Mhm.
Your child will be okay. You will be okay. And for those who decide to go through to 12th grade, that is scary. That
Yes.
is that is super scary. And So in my other videos, I share about like graduating my oldest daughter, but that's not a flippant thing. It's not like we just graduated. No, it
Right.
a lot of weight of heavy uh, figuring out, her transcript and making sure that we got it, shopped to all of the colleges, and just the whole process of college hunting, and then emotionally letting go of your kids, and all of that happens 11th, 12th grade, and it's a task, especially for homeschool parents. So
Yes, I can imagine.
yeah,
And we will be okay. And the main thing I want to drive home is they are always learning,
yes,
always. And that's one of the things that even when you feel like you haven't done enough, just know they're learning. They're always learning. They're learning through books. They're learning through the things that they read, through the videos that you show them. They're learning.
yeah. So we never have to be afraid that, well, are my kids learning anything? It's whatever books, whatever materials are lying around that they're soaking in, that they're taking time to read, or they're taking time to watch, whatever we're presenting to them, they're learning something from it. That's good news. So thank you for encouraging both the homeschool veteran mom and new mom. And then I want to ask you about you and the work that you're doing, and what you do to help moms, or whatever you want to talk about right now as far as your projects and things that you're working on. We'd love to hear about that.
Thank you. Well, I started a blog in 2009, I believe. And this was at the beginning stages where I just wanted to share all the wonderful things that I was finding and learning. And I started a blog. Homeschooling is my superpower was the title of it. And it's still going on, although I have not been writing as often as I would like. I'm trying to push myself to do that more often, especially now. I have so much to share. But I have a blog, and I also, of course, I was saying that I started the in-home academy. I call it my homeschool academy. So it is Soaring Eagles, and I'm representing my shirt and logo. But Soaring Eagles is the name that I chose for the school for the other children that we bring in,
Mhm.
and I'm hoping to one day expand it to a center.
Oh, wow.
So those are the things that I'm considering and working on. But right now, I just want to be in a place where I can help other homeschooling moms to know that there's so much that, just staying connected. There's so much we can share and offer each other. But not only the day-to-day things, but some moms want to know, how can I make an outside income, or what can I do? It's just so much we can share with them. So I'm in a place now where I'm able to do consulting and help mothers just get to know that it's scary, but you're able to do it, and to keep them connected and keep them supported, and to just be encouraging for them, and just a source of encouragement.
Right.
So I'm able to do that, and I'm just starting that up. So I'm actually sharing more information now about that. And
Okay.
it's funny because people are finding me before I'm able to actually get out there, which is great with thanks to social media and,
Right.
technology. But I'm able to start sitting down with mothers. And I think that's my favorite thing right now,
Yeah.
is to be
Oh, I
able to
love
do
that.
that.
I can see that's your heart.
It
Um,
is.
so how can moms who want your help with figuring things out with homeschooling or whatever they're needing, and you can help them in those situations, how can they reach you?
Well, right now you can reach me on really on social media, Instagram, inbox, anything. Which my Instagram is homeschool power,
Mhm.
and it's homeschool, and it's like the underscore
Or
power. And you can also email me at Tracy Kelly 79 at gmail.com. And I'm in the process of trying to get all of this stuff changed over. But right now, you can email me or reach out to me on Instagram, social media. And I will be happy. I get inbox messages all the time, DMs, and I'm happy to answer you back and set up dates with you or times with you. So
that's
either
wonderful.
one of those.
Awesome. Thank you, Tracy. And everyone, I told you this was going to be an awesome conversation with Tracy and that you would love her. So
Oh,
here it
thank you.
is.
Love you
And
too.
yes, and we had a wonderful, wonderful talk. And I feel encouraged. I'm sure everyone listening does too. So thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time. And thank you all for listening. You guys, I know that you must have really enjoyed this because I certainly did. And I had a wonderful time introducing my guest to you. Didn't you just love Tracy? She is awesome. I just feel very peaceful when I talk to her, and she makes you feel really secure about your homeschooling and encouraged, right? So I encourage you to go ahead and visit Tracy. You can find her on Instagram, and that's homeschool_power. And that is where you can find Tracy Kelly. She also mentioned her email in this podcast. So I will leave all this information in the show notes on YouTube, as well as on the show notes at the podcast page at christianhomeschoolmoms.com. And so if you need any support, just remember you have a lot of homeschool moms out here who are willing to support you. There are so many moms now that are homeschooling, especially post-COVID, that really want to help. And so I'm one of those moms. I've been here for a long time. Tracy has been around for a long time. And there are so many more of us who we just want to offer the knowledge that we've gained over the years of having homeschooled our kids through high school. And we just would love to be here to help you. So you can reach Tracy once again at homeschool_power. And you can also reach me, and I would love to help you as well. I offer coaching for homeschool parents, especially new parents. And if you are a veteran parent and just need some support in terms of how to set up your curriculum, or if you want to make a particular curriculum change or choice, or want to know how to go about doing that, there's so many things that you might need assistance with and just need to bounce some ideas off of. Maybe it's your transcript for high school going into college. Maybe it is setting up your homeschool atmosphere for your children. Maybe it's choosing a methodology, a philosophy. Maybe it's learning about your kids' learning styles, learning about your teaching style. And there's so many different things we can talk about that I can help you with. So you can reach me again, christianhomeschoolmoms.com/homeschool-coaching. And you will find more information about my coaching packages. And we can hop on a call and talk about what it is that you need help with. And I'm willing to do that for you. So that's all I have for you today. I really hope you enjoyed it. Reach out to me, reach out to Tracy. Either one of us can help you. And there will be more moms, hopefully, in the weeks to come that I will be interviewing and bringing to you on YouTube as well as the podcast. That, these are moms that are, like I said, we're all willing to help. So if you have any questions about homeschooling, never fear, there's always someone available to help you. All right, I want to wrap this up now. Thank you so much for listening. You have a wonderful week of homeschooling. God bless you. And I hope to be back really soon with more information. If you are on YouTube, if you are sticking around YouTube a lot, watching a lot of YouTube homeschool videos, then I'm going to recommend that you come over to my channel and watch some more videos, because I will be offering more like day in the life of homeschool videos and other types of encouragement videos and vlogs as well. So I hope to see you over on this channel more often. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you guys, and happy homeschooling.